focused on, on the, I know it's a cliche, but they are focused on themselves right now. Obviously, there's a lot of questions on certain parts of their defense. I think that's what their main priority is right now. Obviously, we saw it in the last game how quickly can things turn against them on the defensive side of the ball, and they kind of did a lot of adjustments in the second half last time, which allowed that defense to play better. And I think that's something where Dan Mullen is, trying to really hone down. Everyone's talking about, that big fight between Dan Mullen and Todd Grantham on the sidelines last weekend. And I think that's something where, that's something that we're going to be talking about going towards the postseason here, because honestly, I know we're not going to brush aside Tennessee, but as we draw in closer and we look at where the college football playoff rankings are going in, with Florida coming in at number 6, obviously the question is, will Florida be able to compete and get into that top 4? And obviously that's points to the SEC championship game. So though, yes, they're going to face Tennessee, and Tennessee will provide some challenges, what they're really focused on is how can this team play a complete game. Last game, special teams won it for them. Special teams was crucial in that win, especially when, the offense wasn't firing all cylinders like they're used to. So that is something now they're wondering, we need to make sure we are playing a complete game. So that's where this Tennessee game comes into play. They're going to have to make sure that their defense is playing a complete game. What happens if the offense again plays, doesn't come out swinging in the first half. So this is where this game comes in. Make sure the defense figure out that rotation. Have guys like Tyron Hopper have more reps. He didn't have any reps almost in the last game. These are the type of questions. These are the type of things they're going to work on as the SEC championship comes around in Atlanta.
Jackie, was Dan Mullen actually asked about the altercation with Todd Grantham on the sideline?
Yes, he was. I don't know if you've been following with what Dan Mullen thinks of Christmas decorations. 2 weeks ago, he said that you're not allowed to put Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving. That's according to his wife, Megan Mullen. So he said the argument was about that Todd Grantham believed that you should have your Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving, and he disagreed. So obviously he was having a jest and a joke about all the stuff going on. But obviously we know that he's been frustrated with the defense, and I think it was against Vanderbilt, he was mentioning, that he wanted to see those younger guys rotated in. In the offense, we see those young guys rotated in quite frequently. And on defense, you don't see that quite often enough. And I think that's frustrated Dan Mullen. Guys like Tyron Hopper need more reps. At some point, you need to put those young guys in, especially when you have a lead. But also because, honestly, some of the veterans have not been playing as well as some of these new guys coming in. And, it's a good question. Why isn't some of these guys in the secondary in particular, why aren't these younger guys rotating in when the veterans aren't performing, completely on a consistent basis?
Well, Jackie, clearly when there's a disagreement, as there have been in my life, about when to put the Christmas decorations up, when it's appropriate, you can't really plan that debate. It just, it's organic. And if it's going to happen at that point, you really can't shy away from it. You just have to deal with it in the middle of a football game. I'm sure that was the case. So the rushing attack is something that we've discussed many times throughout the season, and it not being, of course, the main focus of this offense that is producing so much yards, so many points through the air, but that it would need to be complementary, would have to be good enough to be respected by defenses. How do you feel, and how do the Gators feel about the development of the rushing attack?
I think it is getting better. I think, when you look at this rush defense compared to last year, you do see that the blocking is much better. Last year, that was definitely an Achilles heel of this offense. But at the end of the day, when you have Kyle Trask and the way his season is going, that everyone's going to know that it's going to be mostly a passing attack. And you also see all the weapons that he has in the air with, Kyle Pitts back, Justin Shorter. But Dameon Pierce is a great weapon to have on the ground. And Malik Davis does provide a pass catching ability. A few games ago, he went over 100 yards receiving. So these rushers that Florida has are really dynamic and, can add a different facet to this offense. But again, this team, no one's going out there and thinking, oh, Florida's going to run the ball today. No one's thinking that, because that Kyle Trask is going to throw the ball. He's going to aim for Kyle Pitts at least a couple times in the game, because come on, you know it's going to happen. it's already scripted. It's I always joke saying that this is a scheduled tweet play by play on a Saturday, because you expect Kyle Trask to throw to Kyle Pitts for at least a touchdown or two in a game, and you can also assume that he's going to hit Grimes and Shorter, and now even Jacob Copeland. So they have so many wide receivers. They have so many talented over the air that's what's going to happen on offenses. Now, they are trying to run the ball a little bit, and by doing that, they might bring in Emory Jones. They've started to bring Emory Jones a little bit more under center, and when you expect Emory Jones to go under center, there's going to be more rushing attack. He kind of opens that side of the game a little bit more than Kyle Trask does. Now, Kyle Trask does a lot of great things inside the pocket, and he has been able to extend drives by scrambling a little bit, but that's not his forte. His forte is going to throw great balls in tight windows. That's his strength. Emory Jones, we haven't seen him quite do that, but he does provide another danger on the ground. And having him and Dameon Pierce there will certainly give that a different way for defenses to stay honest. I think their offensive line has improved a lot in order to get them a rushing attack. Obviously, there is, everyone clearly sees there's a slight weakness on their right side, but their pass protection continues to be sound. But they have improved. But again, this is an offense built to be a passing attack. They do have talented rushers, but this is the first year in the Florida Georgia game that the team that had the most rushes, won. Florida did not have more yards on the ground. Georgia did, but they won. This is the first time, I think, I can't remember how many years. I think actually it might be the first time in their history between those two teams that occurred. So this is just a very different year for Florida, and it seems like it's kind of fitting. It's 2020. It's unprecedented. So there's a lot of different things that are happening that's not usual. It's not traditional.